disgusting coronation here.
May I present the 1994 King of the Ring. Ladies and gentlemen,
Wait a minute here. My first proclamation as king is to be from this day forward known as the King of Hearts. The King of Hearts.
Check
and
that
I want
out.
you people to remember it with respect for the King of Hearts.
Peeps and peepettes, and welcome to the 8th edition of the Secluded Paradyme. That's right, this is the 8th edition of the show, the first episode of the second season of the Secluded Paradyme. I am Spec-Son, aka Brightwave, of InYourHeadOnline.com, the place to be to find all your wrestling news, information, stats, etc., 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 and as well as to hang out with us crazy peeps over at the In Your Head message boards, which is just as crazy as the radio show itself. I'm happy to be with you guys today, you guys and gals today. And I want to say thanks to everyone who made the show possible. Jack, Inter, Barbie, all of the peeps over at In Your Head, Stay Puffed, my main man Jason, Afro Twinkie, all of you cats made the show possible, and I just wanted to say thanks for allowing me to keep doing this on InYourHeadOnline.com, the place to be, as I said, to get all your wrestling info. But without further ado, about a week or so ago, I think about a week and a half ago, on the In Your Head message boards, I created a poll detailing which superstar you guys would like for me to profile here on the second season of the Secluded Paradyme, the first episode of the second season. This is the 8th edition, and you guys, after tallying up all of the votes, you voted in Owen Hart. And I was thinking about doing an Owen Hart feature here on the Paradyme fairly soon, but I'm more than happy to do it right now. You know, Owen Hart, without a shadow of a doubt, is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He had it all in the ring. Whether it was the gap on the mic, the ability to entertain fans inside and outside the ring with his antics, the wrestling skill, the pedigree, the family pedigree of the Hart family. And he's one of the best storytellers, in my opinion, one of the most underrated storytellers of his generation. Very sad that he passed away in 1999 under those circumstances, and we all know the story. I don't have to get into that. But, you know, with Owen, there's always those what-if questions. And I'm not going to detail all of those here on the show today because we can all decipher that ourselves. The guy could have been WWE champion in 1999, in my opinion. Now, it's my opinion. I really believe he could. Many people don't know that, according to several credible reports, he was supposed to be the game Owen Hart and win the Intercontinental Championship. They were going to repackage him. According to several reports, and you take that for what it's worth, but even Triple H has admitted this as well through several interviews. So Owen was destined to do great things in the WWE. Whether he was going to win the championship or not, the World Wrestling Federation title is yet to be determined. We really don't know. Only the powers to be, the WWE, know. But from what I've gathered, I think he was going to head in that direction, or at least be in the main event scene at some point. Lord knows the guy had the talent. Lord knows the guy had the skill. But with the politics of the WWE allowed for such occurrences to take place. We will never know unless those powers to be discuss it. However, you know, my fondest memories of Owen Hart growing up as a kid during the mid-90s, not necessarily the late 90s, is him and his brother Bret and the great feud that they had in 1994. I mean, man, Owen, you want to talk about building a superstar. That's how you build a superstar. And fortunately, you had two brothers who really got along with each other outside the business, who knew how to really work inside the ring and outside the ring to create a really good wrestling angle and a good program. And those two, more than anybody I've seen since, really fed off of each other. In turn, well, you have Austin or Rock, of course, but even I don't think they had the same chemistry as Owen and Bret had when they were feuding with each other in 1994. Now, this is my opinion, folks, but this is really what I would feel. If you want to look for any bright spot of the new generation era, I think you really have to look at this. There wasn't a bad match between the two at all. You know, Bret Hart in 1993, I don't think the WWE booked him as well as they could. But he eventually is built right back up. And, of course, at Survivor Series in 1993, you have Owen, who was the only brother who eliminated in that Survivor Series matchup against the King and his peeps. Excuse me, and Shawn Michaels and his peeps in 1993, and he was the only Hart brother eliminated in the match. And, you know, make a long story short, he was pissed off about it. He let it be known. He was going to turn heel, but the WWE was teasing a reconciliation between him and Bret Hart prior to the Royal Rumble of 1994, when they were going to challenge the Quebecers for the World Wrestling Federation Tag Team Championships. And all of a sudden, what happens? You have Owen Hart, who was pissed off again at Bret and his so-called knee injury. And what does he do? He kicks him in that knee. He stomps the hell out of the knee, and he turns red hot heel. And Owen was just off to the races after that. He beats his brother Bret at one of the greatest matches ever at WrestleMania 10. Opened up the card. I still think it's better than the ladder match. Many people may disagree. I saw several ladder matches prior to that on Coliseum Video depicting Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart, but this was on a different stage. I will say that. But Owen Hart and Bret Hart stole the show at WrestleMania 10, in my opinion. People can talk about Shawn Michaels all they want. Bret Hart and Owen Hart showed everyone how storytelling works in pro wrestling, how the realism can be brought out in a match, how months upon months of storytelling and building can pay off if the right storytelling is done inside the ring when it's time for the entire angle to culminate into something extremely beautiful. And that's what Owen Hart and Bret Hart did at WrestleMania 10 in Madison Square Garden, where it all began again. And Owen Hart won clean. You couldn't dispute it. You couldn't say he cheated. You couldn't say this. It crept doubt into people's mind that Owen Hart was on that level.